I'm Charlotte and welcome to the Booth Centre. During normal times we love nothing more than welcoming people into the centre, but at the moment you're going to have to settle for a virtual tour. So get the virtual kettle on and come and join us. So anyone that will be showing up to the building at the moment will be asked to wear a face mask and to use the hand sanitisers that are located around the building, and we record details for track and trace and take everybody's temperature. So this is our cafe space. At the moment socially distanced, but we've kept the same sociable atmosphere as before by serving people at the table to create the cafe environment and by playing music to make it a nice welcoming environment. And this is our 5-star hygiene rated kitchen, which Dave will be telling you a little bit more about in a moment. So this is Dave, who works in our kitchen. Our kitchen is a really important part of the Booth Centre. It's a place where supported volunteers can gain experience, can gain skills, and also have a chance to take on qualifications. So Dave, could you maybe tell us a little bit about your experiences of volunteering at the Booth Centre?
Yes, my name's Dave, by the way. I was homeless for 3.5 years. I came off the streets and I went into an hostel. And while I was in the hostel for 1.5 years, I was suffering from mental health problems. I was getting ingrained where I wasn't staying in and I was getting housebound. And then he was suggested to me to come down to the Booth Centre. I'd never used the Booth Centre. So when I came down and experienced it, I thought it was a fantastic place. So I started volunteering. I love volunteering. I was volunteering for 3 months. And eventually at the end of that I was offered a job, which was fantastic, and it's got my life back on track. I've now got accommodation and my world's a totally different place, thanks to the Booth Centre.
Thank you, Dave. You worked really hard in this kitchen. So tell us about the 5-star hygiene rating that you have.
Well, when I came here it was only a 1-star. For over the months we've gradually built it up. The last time we had an inspection was just before Christmas, and they was only in here basically 10 minutes because they'd seen how clean we was and everything. It took them longer to get suited up than it was to go around the place. So we passed again with flying colours.
Thank you so much for all your hard work and everything you do at the Booth Centre, Dave.
Thank you very much, Charlotte. Thank you, Tom. Bye, everybody.
Right, so I'm Gareth. I work for a track called Streetwise Opera, who are based at the Booth Centre, run our workshops, weekly workshops at the Booth Centre. So for quite a few years I've been kind of really interested in both, you know, viewing the artwork and trying to be a part of the process really that uses art in the Booth Centre. It really is such a kind of amazing, varied selection of stuff, and it's been a real pleasure to be able to kind of work on sprucing up some of the artworks during the lockdown period and kind of making them ready to be shown in the fullest, the most beautiful way that they can be seen, really. Arts within the Booth Centre are a really essential piece of the kind of toolkit of you know, helping people recover through traumatic experiences. I'm a musician myself. I started making music. I started writing poetry when I was a teenager because I was a kind of angry teenager and I needed some kind of outlet. And I've been able to use the arts personally ever since that day. It becomes more complicated when we've done it over many years, but you know, it is a tool for improving well-being and particularly navigating crisis. And it's an essential piece of the toolkit to try and improve well-being. I think the workshops are essential. You know, that's the process where people can really explore themselves in a really safe environment. But the other essential aspect to it is seeing the artworks on the wall, because that's a conclusion of the story for people, where they can, you know, they can actually begin to like objectively look at their artwork, and they can also point it out to the friends. They can go into a building and say, well, those walls, you know, that piece that there, I'm involved in that, you know, I have some ownership over that. This is a place where not only do I feel valued, but I have some you know, important ingredient in the whole recipe of the building, really. So, you know, being able to show the work is essential, and I don't think there's a single part of the Booth Centre which isn't covered with various different artworks, and again, that's an absolute joy it's such a joyful place to come into and see all that stuff, really, and the detail and the kind of variation amongst it as well.
During the activity sessions, we have support workers available to help anybody with any ongoing matters. For example, we can support people to find temporary accommodation, emergency accommodation or long-term accommodation. We can also support people with any benefit issues that they'd like help with. Also, there is support available around physical health or mental health issues that people would like to look at. We also have specialist support for European people around settled status and accommodation options.
So this is our upstairs activity space. As you can see, art across the walls, just like the rest of the centre. And at the moment, our PCs are in here instead of the training room and socially distanced so that more people can attend sessions like ESOL, skill sessions and job club. These activities are really important for helping people to rebuild their lives and sit alongside our arts and wellbeing activities, which really equip people with the tools that they need, such as confidence and self-esteem, so that they can make the next step. And then round the corner is our comfy corner. This is an informal meeting space that we have for groups and for individuals, so they can sit, chat, have a relax. The postcards are from our lockdown activity programme, Connecting Through Activities. And this is a space where our groups meet to plan and evaluate the sessions, the services and the programmes that we deliver. In here is our training room. This would be normally where job club and skill sessions would take place, and our nationally recognised qualifications. At the moment it has been socially distanced to allow a quiet working space and internet cafe for people that come to the centre. Next up, Tom in the garden is going to tell you more about our wellbeing activities and our garden space.
Hello and welcome to the Booth Centre Garden. I'm Tom. I've been working with the guys here for the last 2 years. We are now in the 5th year of winning gold at the RHS, which is Royal Horticultural Society Awards, every year. When we win, we get to go up to Southport and have the award ceremony. We all get to sit down at fancy tables, we all get a fancy slap-up meal and get looked after, and it's just a very wholesome day out in all. But yes, no, the gardening sessions, very important at the Booth Centre, good for people's well-beings. It's very calming and therapeutic gardening, but it is integral to giving people the feeling that they belong or they've got somewhere they can call theirs. Without sounding cheesy, it gives people the opportunity to grow. Having the weekly sessions gives people a little bit of structure. They can come in one week and plant some seeds or pot something and come in the next week or the week after and see how much it's grown. It's helped people not only getting on the direct path of actually getting a house, actually getting sober and things like that. It's a lovely distraction from the real world, which I think everybody could do with a bit these days. As we work with bigger and bigger groups these days, it's becoming more and more popular. It gives everybody a sense of community and working together and group work. It's amazing when people come down and they've been talking about the garden when they're not here. They're talking about what they're planning on doing, and people talk about what they want to grow here or what they want to make with the food that they've grown here. It gives people something to be proud of, and people at the Booth Centre love this space. It really does. Not only brighten up the area, but they're brightening up the area around them as well. They go out, they do weeding in the streets, we do litter pickings on a regular basis. We're turning this area upside down and just turning it into a beautiful green space.
We hope you enjoyed the tour of the Booth Centre, and we hope to be able to welcome you into the centre one day soon. Bye!
Bye.